Hello, my name is Owen, and I'm the course lead of the Sport, Health and Physical Education degree program. This degree program is aimed at two kinds of people. The first kind is if you know you want to become a teacher. This could be a primary school teacher or secondary physical education teacher. What students in this degree program would usually do is complete the 3-year degree and afterwards complete a 1-year postgraduate certificate in secondary education, which would provide them with qualified teacher status and is one of the most common ways into teaching. The second reason why you might want to consider this degree program is if you want to keep your options open. If you know you want to work in sport in some capacity or something related to sport, but you're not quite sure how or what yet, then the breadth, but still concurrent depth this degree program provides should leave your career doors open. Well, if you haven't already, I highly recommend checking out the Sport, Health and Physical Education webpage, and then scrolling down a little bit and clicking on course content. This will take you to all of the different modules offered as part of this degree program. Some of the ones you might be particularly interested in are preparing to teach, physical literacy, and skill acquisition. These should provide you with the practical experience and skills you need to become an effective teacher or coach. So here in Bangor, you will get taught by experts in the field, so the people who literally write the books. And this teaching will take place via lectures, smaller group work, seminars, laboratory practicals, teaching practicals. It really depends on which modules you choose as you go through your degree. A question I often get asked by prospective students on open days is, what about the science aspect of this degree program? So this, after all, is a Bachelor of Science and not a Bachelor of Arts. So a BSc, not a BA. Well, it's actually one of the biggest strengths of this Sport, Health and Physical Education degree program. At the end, it will leave you with the scientific and analytical skills to understand the underlying practices and the underlying scientific principles of sports literature. And if you do not understand these things at the end of your degree, then you will immediately be a step behind the competition, because sports, after all, is a scientific discipline. If this sounds a little bit intimidating, I'd also like to reassure you not to be. In the 3rd year of your degree, you get to run a research project which can follow your passion. If you are interested in climbing, for example, you can do a research project to do with climbing. And there'll be loads of support. You'll be working with an assigned supervisor, a chosen supervisor of yours. You can choose which supervisor you want to work with. And there'll be loads of support available from them, and also as you go through the module, to make sure that those scientific elements aren't too challenging. In fact, it'll be a lot of fun. University and your degree is really what you make of it. These days, it isn't enough to just finish with a degree. You need to finish with a skill set and a track record. So every week, you will get email by our employability lead about internship, about work experience, about volunteering, and many other opportunities, coaching opportunities, for example, which will help you develop a CV and a skill set to make you attractive to employers in the future. So the last question that remains, and perhaps the most important one, is why choose Bangor? There are hundreds of degree providers, but Bangor is one of the oldest sports science degree providers, and this has allowed us to develop an excellent reputation both nationally and internationally with academics and employers alike. So that's advantage number one. The second advantage with coming to Bangor is the number of students we take in. We take in less students than most other departments because this allows us to have a really close-knit environment, and it allows us to support our students on a person-by-person basis instead of people becoming numbers almost. So we take in between 100 to 150 new students every year instead of 400, 500 or even more students. And the final advantage of studying at Bangor is the location, especially if you're into sports. So on the one hand, you have the sea, and on the other hand of Bangor, you have the mountains and Snowdonia National Park. So after a long day in the laboratory, in the lecture theatre, or in the classroom, you can go out and you can unwind, and you can either exercise your hobbies or find some new hobbies. And this will hopefully help you find a really good work-life balance to get the most out of yourself during your degree.